right, guys, what's going on? Today we are discussing ISO aids for X-First. Community Day is here. We're always excited to do this. This is a fun little segment we do every Wednesday here in the stream. We have Mendogs in the chat. How you doing, Mendogs?
What's going on, brother?
Hey, and we have Nate. Nate, how are you doing today?
Doing very well, my brother.
I love you, brother. And then we have Toxic. Toxic just joined as well. How you doing, Toxic?
Doing good.
That's right. All right, guys. This is, like I said, our fun segment. It's not even about me. It's about what you guys do for ISO aids when it comes to the team that we're showcasing. It's always fun to talk about our synergy teams. And, you know, we have, like I said, some tools out there. Thanks to Remanex for putting together that nice little ISO tool. But, of course, we like to try new things. And I want to see what everybody's doing when it comes to ISO aids for this team. But I got a little treat for you guys. From my own alliance mate, Mr. Tariz himself. Shazam! How do you guys like that X-Force right there? That is something to see. Jesus! All I'm saying is that's a scary X-Force team. The lowest one, the lowest one is Deadpool at 110 mil. I mean 10,000. That's a 7 Red Star X23. That's a 7 Red Star Negasonic. I mean, that team is wrecking nerds in war. And I can see already some of the ISOs that he's using there. We're going to be talking about, like I said, what everybody's doing when it comes to ISOs for this. But yes. Fun. Like I said, I just want to show you guys a little bit treat of one of the strongest X-Force out there. If you guys have something bigger than that, put it in the bragging rights section in my Discord. I would love to see it. But Tariz is killing it with his X-Force team. And like I said, today, Community Day, fun little segment that we do every Wednesday here in the stream. And anybody's more than welcome to join the chat for this. We are talking about community ISOs and what you guys are doing for ISOs for X-First today. All right, we're going to start off. Where do you guys want to start off with this team? Who should we start off with?
We can start off with the squishiest member and the member that always gets targeted, Domino.
Domino. As soon as you said the squishiest and the targeted, we already know who has a target in their back all the time. And that's Domino. All right, Domino is actually a very integral part of this team. Kind of makes this team go because if she stays alive, you have a very strong chance of winning your war attacks. But if she dies, man, are you in trouble, huh?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I also agree.
What are you guys doing when it comes to ISO aids for Domino? We'll start off with Mendogs.
Oh, okay. So I've probably gone a little unconventional and a bit probably I'll get hate from the chat. But I actually have her as a fortifier.
Fortifier.
And I understand fortify for that survivability, you know, the extra protection. Now I understand fortify is probably not the best in the lower levels, but with that regeneration, that extra protection, obviously the health boost as well. Like if she's constantly getting targeted, but she can regenerate that barrier, you know, Deadpool can't die if he's taking damage as well. And so that's why I've sort of gone. I've got a level 3 at the moment, just because I don't have a very geared team like you do.
Mm-hmm.
Mine are all probably around gear 10.
Yeah.
But I just find that survivability really helps out. So.
So you have her at level 3, you said? I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we have always talked about Fortifier, and we always said that this is definitely an ISO that at a higher level works fantastic. You know, you get that plus 15%, 15,000% barrier on spawn, and then you also get 4% barrier on turn. At level 3 is not horrendous either. I get why you're doing it too. That's the cool part. I get why you're doing it. Like, we just literally introduced the character and said, this is the squishiest character. This is the one character that you need to survive, right, out of this team for it to technically work. I mean, you can still win with her dying, but your chances really go down if Domino dies because, you know, you don't get to revive your Deadpool every time. You definitely need Deadpool alive for most of the damage in this team. So I like to see something different showcase. Fortifier. Are you planning to take her to 5 then?
Eventually, with ISOs, I'm more having issues with the crunch than I am with the the ISO currency as opposed to the actual ISO abilities themselves.
Yeah.
and so it's not the highest priority at the moment for me.
Yeah.
However, yeah, it's just the extra survivability is why I've sort of gone barrier.
So
I know Raider is a popular one.
it is. We've known how popular it is. In fact, I think I have her as a Raider right now. But it's always good to see another option for it. And I think Tarias mentioned it in the chat. He said in the higher levels, Domino always dies. I even think that even in the lower levels, it doesn't matter. Like I said, Domino just tends to have a target in her back, and man, does she go down quick. It feels like in most fights. So, all right, cool. We like that. She's also an ISO level 5 because you need that focus to disrupt strife. You're saying skirmisher for that focus. Yes, I appreciate that. So I've actually thought about Domino myself, but we'll get to my thoughts last. We're gonna kick it off with the next person. That's Toxic. What are you doing with your Domino?
There are many different choices for Domino. Right now, I have her as a striker. I know she doesn't do the biggest of damage, but I think the reason I have her as a striker is because of the rest of the team's ISOs. But I was thinking of maybe possibly switching her to skirmisher so that I could clear one buff every time she attacks, because there's going to be so much vulnerable out there. Probably a bit too much for her, which will be good. So you have a lot more vulnerables to use to clear one buff or two buffs, depending on your ISO level for skirmisher.
So it's what he's talking about too, guys. It's at level 3. You do clear one positive effect with skirmisher. At level 5, you actually clear 2 positive effects too. And then you gain that extra 50% focus, which I think also Tarias mentioned it in the chat. It's always really fun when you actually land your disrupted. Not so fun when you don't land your disrupted. Especially on some attacks, you definitely need to make sure you land that disrupted. So I can appreciate skirmisher.
Yeah. Actually, last night in War, I'm not the biggest fan of War. It's my second favorite.
Yeah.
It's my second to least favorite game mode, least being Arena. I actually lost a match with X-Force going up against Marauders because my Domino did not apply Disrupted to Strife. So
yeah,
unfortunately, I wasn't able to ability block Emma, so she couldn't use her special. But then I tried it a second time. I actually got to Disrupt, and I won that match. So that Disrupt is actually pretty huge.
It's pretty big. You need that Disrupt, and then you need to be able to land that ability block on another key member of the opposite team. So skirmisher makes a lot of sense. I've been back and forth today. I didn't want to touch my ISOs. I wanted to keep them as they were, as I've had them. But the more that I was like, it's funny when we do community days is when I really start thinking ISOs, and definitely not just ISOs, but particular scenarios when it's good for a character to have a particular class. As you guys know too, War Raider, unfortunately, if you're going up against a team that have the deflex on, Raiders doesn't really work against that. It's not, I'm not sure if it's a bug or if it's something that's going to get fixed down the line, but if you have Raider, the vulnerables will not land if there's deflex on the other end. So that's also something to consider, especially when we go and move towards the rest of the characters. But cool. So skirmisher from Toxic, and then we have Fortifier from Mendog so far. And I think Nate said he'll be back, right? Not a bug, it's just as intended, Sen Raven said. So once again, just something to consider. You might not want to do Raider on your first person on the team that attacks you. We'll talk about, I guess, when we get to that character.
So reference Raider, though, you do get that. I agree that the vulnerabilities are probably not dropped as much, but you are getting that big boost of damage from Raider. So
you get that crit damage still, yes.
Yeah, so it does help anyway. Maybe just on the initial when you knock it off all the disrupts. Yeah, so it's just something I guess that we should consider. I still like definitely. They officially stated that deflex prevents crits. Hey Moon, how you doing today? So it's official. It's not going anywhere. It's not a bug. Unfortunately, with Raider, you will not land vulnerables as long as there's deflex on the other side of the team. So something, like I said, to consider. But so I think, like I said, I don't think Nate's here. And once again, Moon, if you feel like you want to join the call, you can. But what I've been doing with her is Raider. It's been working out just fine. But the more that I use this team, sometimes I feel like I should do something different with
Domino, and a couple of times I've actually thought about what Mendox did because she's just so squishy. She dies so many times, but I'm like, man, that's a lot of ISOs that I gotta invest into her if I put her at level 5. And then a lot of times I've been thinking that disrupt does not land. So I actually do enjoy Skirmisher on her. I think Skirmisher kind of makes sense. What we're gonna do for this one is I already have level 2 Raider on her. I'm gonna try her when we do our blitz with this team. We're gonna try her as Skirmisher first. We could try her against as Raider, but something to remember, in blitz they don't have the same buffs as they do in war. So, and it's not the same turn order either. Negasonic will always go first in war, so something to keep in mind when we're doing the blitz battle. Okay, but we're gonna try her initially as a Skirmisher. I do like Fortifier. I think Fortifier at high level makes sense to try and keep your Domino, since the AI just has such a huge target on her back. So it's something cool to consider, like I said. But I've been doing Raider for a reason. I think like you said, that crit damage, and something cool with Domino herself, as you guys know, with that passive, which I already T4'd. If you T4 that passive, everybody gains that extra 20% crit damage as well. All X-Force allies gain that 20% crit damage. So I enjoyed that T4. Another T4 that I want to do eventually, we'll get to X23. Up next is her passive as well. I think those are key for this team. But yeah, that's why Raider is usually a really good ISO class for Domino. So we could try Raider on Domino, Skirmisher. I'm not gonna try Fortifier because I have low levels, but I think at high levels that could also be a possibility. No problem, Moon. She usually dies to mind control abilities from Mystique or Emma. Yeah, like I said, it feels like she's definitely usually like the first target for the AI. Unfortunately, it's kind of how it goes. The cool thing though is, I guess we'll talk about it when we get to Deadpool. But he has that invisible taunt as long as he's the highest damage dealer on the team. So something to consider when we get to Deadpool. But all right, so you guys like the ISOs that we have in place. We have considered her for Fortifier, for Skirmisher. If you guys were to say overall, not roster dependent, what do you guys think would be the best ISO in place for her? And you guys in the chat can tell me as well.
I think I would still go Skirmisher.
Skirmisher?
Yeah.
Level 5 is just a lot of farming. That's all. If you're not used to farming, the game is not for you. Yeah, I like Skirmisher.
Are we going with max abilities, or are we just doing like
no, just overall in the game? Like clearly there's options. We talked about those options, and like I said, I definitely like Fortifier for the reason that you're using Fortifier. I can join voice chat if you want. It's full. Wait, it's full?
I don't think there's a
there's no limit. It shouldn't be full. I have this set up to no limit. Try again.
If we're going on, you know, the best case scenario, so everyone's level 5, right? So you've got across the board, we've maxed out all the abilities. Just for argument's sake, I think that Fortifier with the extra protection and the constant regeneration might actually keep her alive. And granted, Fortifier probably needs a slight rework, but I think overall you're going to find that Fortifier at level 5 for her.
Fortifier level 5 makes sense. I agree. Tarias, no, feel free. We don't talk over one another, except for me just now talking over Mendox. But we don't talk over one another, so feel free to join. All right, Mendox, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's all right. You know, we just talked about her passive and stuff, and obviously when a character dies, you lose that passive with all that crit damage. So she's really helping the team. She's, you know, constantly keeping that Deadpool resin if possible. So yeah, I think if we balance it all out and go level 5, then I think Fortify is the best. But it is a bit of a slog to get to that 5.
Yeah, it is. But especially if you're battling your war teams right now, and this is probably one of the top, if you know, top 3 at least in my eyes when it comes to the war attack teams. They can punch up against pretty much anybody, it feels like, in defense. They do so well against the Marauders. They do amazing against Mercs. I really value my X-Force team. I hate when I actually don't use them because I've been holding on to them dearly so that I can take them against a good team in war. So if that's the case, like if you're going to invest in war is where it's at for you guys. If you guys enjoy war and you want to get your war attacks in, develop this kind of character with their ISOs at 5 for fortified makes a lot of sense, right? It's just there's of course different aspects of the games that are more valuable for some players. For me, arena, it's where it's at. I need to make sure my arena teams are really strong. But at level 5 ISO, fortifier for Domino, I think it makes more than enough sense. We want to keep her alive. So I appreciate that, Mendox. All right, so I
would
think
love. I can say I would love to T4 all of their ashes, but I'm saving up all my freaking T4s for this dumb basic legendary. I don't know if you know who he is. He's called Black Bull.
He's amazing. He's amazing. Wait till you get your hands off him. I think you're gonna end up taking everything that you said about Black Bull Bat. You'll come
He's
and
the kid for a reason.
you'll come and issue an apology to Marble Strike fans everywhere for saying Black Bull's trash. Oh, Tarias is in the chat. How you doing, Tarias?
Hello.
Yeah, so Tarias, I think everybody already gave their thoughts on it. I know Nate said in the chat that he'll be back, so I'm not gonna ask him unless whenever he comes in, if he hears this, he's more than welcome to put his input. But what are you doing with Domino? Based that, by the way, guys, that big X-Force team that you guys saw was Tarias's. So tell me, what are you doing with your Domino?
I accept the fact that she's just going to die in every Emma Barada fight.
Yeah.
So she's skirmisher, ISO level 5 for the focus, because you have to land that disrupt on strife.
Yeah.
When you, especially if you punch up.
Yeah. Yeah, so once again, we're considering Skirmisher 2 on your end. In your case, level 5 for that extra added focus. Just because we want to make sure. So you're talking very specific right now, just for the actual Marauders, how crucial that disrupt is. And I highly agree with you. If you don't land that disrupting strife, you're in for trouble. I mean, it's still doable. You can still take down an Marauders team without that, but it'll be a lot harder to punch up against the Marauders. So I highly appreciate the extra 50% focus on that aspect. And then at that point, if that disrupt is in place, even if she dies, you kind of still feel good about your attack no matter what, right?
Yeah, because you have enough evasion in terms of avoiding strife after the fact that you can take down both Emma and Sinister.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So, but that's once again a very specific against a Marauders attack. I know why Mendox uses Fortifier, because against some other attacks you actually want to keep her alive. So once again, just something to consider. This is what I love about ISIS, is that you can always change them based on the need. So if you have level 5 Skirmisher, then at that point it doesn't take much for you guys to just spend the resources. I think it's like 50 grand or something like that, or 50,000 ions to do that. But at that point, maybe having multiple classes for someone that's at level 5, it's worth it to go back and forth. Cool. All right, so 2 Skirmishers so far, 1 Fortifier. On my end, I think I used to have her as a Raider, I said. But based on her landing that disrupt, I think I'm going to go Skirmisher initially. And I think at level 5 Fortifier, it makes sense. So good to see what everybody's doing about her. But I think we're going to roll out initially with Skirmisher. We could try another, maybe Raider. And we could try probably Fortifier then when we do the blitzes with X-Force in a little bit. Cool. Everybody happy with Domino? Yep. Okay, so far we're going to try her out as a Skirmisher, but potential Fortifier and potential Raider as well. All right. Moving on to one of my favorite, you guys know this, one of my all-time favorite characters. I have the first appearance of X-23 in the comic books. I absolutely fell in love with this character in the comics, and when she came into the game, you guys already know, one of the few offers. This and Cole were the only 2 characters that I've ever bought in this game. That's why I'm cheap to play, because I have bought offers in the past. I gotta tell you guys, I absolutely love X-23. I love PvP, and X-23 is definitely one of the top characters for PvP as well. But inside of X-Force, she does so much for this team. What are you guys doing for X-23? I have her as a Raider. We started with Mendox last time. Let's go backwards this time. Tarias, what are you doing with X-23?
So currently I have X-23 as Raider, but there is an argument to have her as Striker. Yeah. I like this X-23 suit better than that. Me too, Avengers. I agree with you.
is Skirmisher really for characters that do not do much damage? That is what I say. Not necessarily, Adrian. There's just a lot that can happen with the Skirmisher, especially fast characters in the game that can, once again, if you have Skirmisher at high levels, if you want to take some of the buffs from the other end and plus added focus, I think Skirmisher makes a lot of sense. So it's not so much about the damage. It's just about what you can do with those characters. That's what I love about Skirmisher. All right, so you have her as a Raider. That added extra, like I said, if you T4 Domino and she had that added extra crit chance, that ultimate seems to one-shot sometimes people, doesn't it?
With Raider?
Yeah, with Raider.
Whenever she has offense up and she uses her special on like Taskmaster, so sometimes it could get him to red health or even one-shot him. That's crazy, actually.
Yeah.
There's ultimate too.
Yeah. I think I've used her only as a Raider, to be honest, but I think there's definitely a case for her as a striker too. So I did it already. I tried her as a striker. I have her as a Raider just because, like I feel like with the extra crit damage, we end up doing a lot more damage overall because she tends to crit almost every other attack with the T4 on Domino, it feels like. So, but I go back and forth. I've tried both of them, and like I said, you could definitely make a case for the extra added damage on the striker as well, and then plus the extra attack if there's already vulnerable in place with X23. Mendogs, what are you doing with your X23?
Yeah, so I'm also doing Raider for the simple fact is that extra damage. I believe I'm level... bringing it up. I'm only level 1 with her actually. So as I said, I pretty much got the X-Force to get Doc Ock, and then I sort of had to move on.
Yeah, I said this ISOs a while back, and like I said, it's cool because like we get to do ISO Community Day, and then I end up revisiting some of my ISOs that I haven't touched in a while. Just because this team has worked out for me every single time in war attacks, so I really haven't changed them too much. But this is a good opportunity to see if we can have potential optimal ISOs in place for this team. So far it seems like everybody's happy with Raider and her, but once again there is a case then for the striker ISO class on her. Cool. Is that what I heard from everybody?
Yes.
Yeah, real quickly to add in, the case for having striker is if you don't have a lot of red stars on it, you want the base damage to be pretty high.
To be higher, yeah. Right now mine is only at 9,000, but once again with that added extra crit too, and she has 4 red stars. But if you don't have the red stars in place to boost this character, maybe at low 2 or 3s, I think striker makes sense too, to add the damage like we said earlier. Agreed.
As a general rule for striker, I tend to choose someone with not necessarily huge damage output like we did last week with Black Bolt. But
yeah, I think he's a special case. He needs it.
yeah. He just hits so hard. But I tend to do strikers with something about their ability, because obviously they hit with a basic. She gains the evade, so maybe double evade's not too bad. But other characters where they remove buffs and stuff like that, you just want to constantly. And that's another good thing about Black Bolt, right? He does lots of damage, but he also removes those positives. So I tend to only go striker when I'm getting that much of a benefit.
Yeah. Cool. Agreed.
Striker, you have the T4 on the basic because I don't think you can. He only doubles up on evades when she drops below 50% health. I don't think if you attack with her basic 2 times into the striker, I don't think she gets to evades, but I'm not sure.
Well, if that's the case, then I
with the basic, right?
Reason to get right.
Yeah, and plus, here's the thing with her already. Her damage is piercing damage, which we guys know already. It's the strongest damage that you can input in the game. So she's already doing a lot on her base kit. So adding that extra Raider tag on her, I think that's where we all think that that's the optimal ISO for her in place. Just because once again, she crits so much, especially if you T4, like I said. If you T4 Domino's passive, it can go a long ways for you. Something that I wanted to do, and I'm actually going to do it right now, is her T4. Build the speed bar by 20%, gain 20% focus for self and X for allies. So this also helps out Domino as well. so that we end up landing that disrupted in place whenever we're facing Marauders with X-Force. In fact, unfortunately, we don't run wars on Wednesdays, but I'll probably record this and show you guys how important it is to do a disrupted on Strife and that attack, especially for the higher punch-ups when you're running X-Force into a Marauder. So we're gonna do this right now. Add the additional focus for everybody else. I think this is one of the key T4s in place for this team. So okay, awesome. All right, guys, anything else on X23? Like I said, one of my favorite characters. I absolutely love X23. He also becomes Wolverine, hence her getting that X-Men tag added into the game as well. Did you guys see this aspiring thing? Is that for stature? It has to be for stature.
Yeah, that's for stature. And she doesn't gain the evade off the ISO bonus attack either.
Yeah. Perfect.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Hey, Event Orb is actually really good because there's like 8 characters in there that are new. And then like Electro, X23 herself, Swarm, and more in there. It's crazy, actually.
Yeah. I'm excited. We'll see what happens. All right. So that's X23 Raider so far. We're going to try her out as a Raider for the blitzes. Oh, it's time for Runner. Quick pause. We're looking at Stream Raiders. Guy, exclamation XR if you guys want to join in. We have 16 of you beautiful people in here. 56 allies. We're going to do this real quick. For honor. Oh man, you know what I forgot to check? I wanted to check. Oh, here I am. Look at that wonderful flag bearer right there, holding Ken's flag strong. Ken's army is being showcased in Stream Raiders right now, guys. You guys won your own flag bearer with the Ken logo in the flag. It's under the skin section of the game. Freaking awesome. Much love, Hasper. Hasper will forever go down as the first person to buy one of the skins in the game. Man, BMAC already with 13, 14 kills, 16 assists from Rello. Tank Villain killing the turkey tosser. This is what we do, guys. We just wreck nerds. Did I get a kill? I got 5. You guys can't tell me nothing. I freaking rock. Job well done, guys. All right, Barbarian and Musketeer, Nate and Ouija, congratulations, my guys. All right, I'm just gonna drop this in here, and once again, exclamation and sorry if you guys want to dropping that super cool looking warrior as well. All right, back to the action we go. All right, so that's X23 Raider. Lots of good input from everybody so far when it comes to like the axes that they're using, and we're gonna keep heading in this direction. One of my favorite characters, if you guys only knew what the top of my shelf looks like in front of me, you guys would probably scream. Deadpool is one of my favorite characters in Marvel Universe. DP, what are you guys doing with this beast? Merc with the mouth.
I'm doing Raider.
You guys are doing Raider?
Yeah, I'm also doing Raider.
So I've gone back and forth with him, Striker and Raider. As you guys can see, I did Striker last time, but the more I use him, the more I'm thinking Raider on him too.
Yeah, he's a Raider for me as well.
Yeah. Once again, another one. His bonus attack always crits if the target is a minion. So we want to run against some minions too. That's why I like them against mercs too. We take advantage of that. But just once again, the fact that you get to do multiple attacks as well. His special hits hard too. But attacking primary target, rebound chain, 3 to 4 allies as well. Lots of vulnerable that you can land in place with this guy. And with the added extra crit damage from Domino, I think he definitely fits the Raider tag very well. Is anybody doing anything other than Raider on him?
I am not. And I don't think I've tried anything else but Raider.
Okay. The only thing that I wanted to try at times, and I think it was towards... So I did... The last reason why I had Striker is because I've taken them a lot against mercs. And a lot of times, Striker on him will help me get rid of like Merc Riot Guard if he's taunting on that attack. I'm going specifically against mercs. Having that extra damage, that extra attack, just in case I don't kill him on that special, ends up helping me kill Merc Riot Guard. But that's a very specific attack. I think overall, he really is a wonderful Raider.
I agree.
Yep. Boom. So no one's doing anything else. We love him as a raider. I think once again we can definitely take advantage of him getting that extra crit damage from Domino as a whole. But the guy also gets with his basic. If you're running him against a minion, he also the bonus attack always crits. It's great. Cool. Moving on. We knew this was gonna be a fast one. Cable. All right, Mendox, I think I'm gonna start with you. What are you doing with Mr. Cable himself?
The future warrior himself.
The future warrior. We love Cable.
His portrayal in Deadpool 2 was awesome. I'm using Raider on him just for that extra damage. It's again, he's basic. I guess you could argue having the because it fills the extra speed, fills speed bar. I don't know if it works. I mean, if she's not getting evade, maybe it doesn't work as well. But I think Raider with just the extra guaranteed crit chance and crit damage is better.
Yeah.
I also agree. I'm also using Raider on him.
Man, if he crits on his ult, insta delete at times, huh?
Yeah.
How about you, Therese? What are you doing on Cable?
I have him as striker, but he should be Raider. The change should have been done because of Negasonic's change, because she doesn't crit on her ult.
Yeah.
When they have the boosted.
When they have the deflex.
Yeah. So you want to have basically everybody as Raider on this team.
Yeah.
But I've just been too lazy to spend the ions on it.
I agree. I'm kind of the same way. I mean, when we talked about this last week, we said we're gonna look at X first, and we said it might be pretty easy to do X first, just because for the most part, Raider seems to scream at you when you're using this thing. It's kind of like the logical thing to do with everybody. For all we know, we're like Raider everything. You get a Raider, you get a Raider, you get a Raider. But you know, it's cool to see that other people are doing different things, and you know, for different measures as well in the game. So we talked about what we're doing for Domino. We're gonna try here as a skirmisher. You know, the possibility of X23 also becoming a striker. I've used Deadpool as a striker, and it's worked in certain scenarios, like I mentioned. But I think initially he's definitely a Raider. And Cable, so far from everybody, from what I've heard, Raider makes sense too. And like I said, added crit damage thanks to Domino's special. If you end up T4ing it, you know, the chances are even increased at that point. And of course, if you make, not only that, if you level up the Raiders on everybody else, the crit, it's like through the roof. So tons of damage.
I think statistically speaking, like, you know, going to the numbers, I actually think Raider ends up being more damage, which is why it's probably the more preferred. There is obviously characters for skirmisher, there is characters for striker, but I think if you're going for that damage, I think Raider's the statistically bigger version because it increases crit chance, and then you can actually do more damage on crit. And then, as I said, as a general rule of thumb, for my personal opinion, is strikers for that those double hits that actually do something. So, you know, removing positive effects, or, you know, Black Bolt does both massive damage and stuff like that. But yeah, I think overall, Raiders statistically the best.
Yeah, perfect. All right, and we're gonna talk about one that I think it's a little controversial, if anything, out of the whole entire group. And I think that's Negasonic. Just because we already know officially, if the other team has deflex, you're not gonna land any vulnerables in place. What are you guys doing with Negasonic? Is anybody doing anything other than Raider? Because I almost think that at times, especially if you're running against Noir, since she goes first, maybe she takes down all those deflects, but maybe making her a striker for the added damage and for her to clear the deflects might be beneficial. What are you guys doing with Negasonic?
I'm just using Raider on her, even if they do have the flex.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm just fine with Raider. It doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah. How about you, Rise?
Yeah, so it's still Raider. She's a low priority AI target for like the enemies to kill, so she's always going to stick around and deal a lot of damage. And
she still does multiple targeting in all her attacks, attack all enemies as well here. attack primary and adjacents as well. So that's why we consider her definitely a good raider. Lots of opportunities to land those bonus except for the basics, but ideally you want her definitely as the raider. Cool. What are you doing with her, Mandogs?
Yeah, I'm doing Raider as well.
Yeah.
I think Chap's done a good call there. You know, you're pretty much doing Raider on all these characters.
Yeah, we can, like I said, we knew this going in. It's pretty easy to just slap a Raider tag on all of them. But it's still good to find out.
I enjoy this series because it's not just as simple as and congratulations to the team and Reminex that did that spreadsheet. I think it's amazing. But I do like the arguments can be made for different ISOs.
Yeah.
It's not just a simple, oh, well, the Reminex spreadsheet told me this, and you blindly follow it. I do enjoy, you know, especially here in other bit, because I've got an undergeared, because I'm probably the newest out of everyone in the chat. Yeah, I've got a very undergeared thing, so it is good to see, you know, what's working for me, what's working on the higher ends. Torax, you've got the biggest X-Force team I've ever seen. Very cool team.
Definitely, it's definitely up there.
But yeah, even if like, because we walked in, I think last week was a bit of an easy one too with Inhumans. I don't think there was any debate on any of them. But it is good to see that it's like, well, why did you do it? Well, you know, in war it does this, in raids it does this. It's good. So thanks for doing the series. But yeah, Raider, it's just that damage.
Raider's where it's at. Yeah, perfect. And we're definitely gonna try this out now, guys. We're gonna take them into Blitz. Listen, guys. Raider it's where it's at with this team. We already knew that, I think, beforehand. But like I said, it's good to see like special scenarios, special cases, or special reasons behind some other options on this Raider tag. I mean, on this ISO tags. You know, especially in Domino's case, we already know that the ISOs, or this character in particular, gets targeted by the AI more than anybody in this team. So the fact that some people are considering her as a fortifier at high levels makes more than enough sense. Skirmisher, for the fact that we want that extra focus at level 5, also makes enough sense, because you need to land that disrupt most of the time for that attack to work, in particular against a Marauder. So yeah, always good to see. All right, guys, are we ready to see them in action then? Once again, this is not going to be the same kind of order that happens in War, being that for War, Negasonic goes a lot quicker than she does in Blitz. But just to get an idea as to what happened with these teams when they already have those ISOs. Let me find my X-Force. And my X-Force is... Ooh, Sage! Sage dropping the love. Oh, it's a big love. Big raid coming in from Sage. Welcome, Sage Sentience. You guys are coming in at just the perfect time. Thank you, Russell, for the follow. Much appreciated. We love Sage. Sage knows that.
I'm back.
You came in at just the right time. We just got raided by Sage. Guys, we're doing an ISO community discussion for X-Force City, and you guys came in at the right time. We're going to actually test them out in a little bit, but thank you so much, Sage. Much love, and I appreciate you, my friend. I really hope you had a wonderful stream. Everybody that's coming in, your boy streams every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Marble Strike First, and I'm also in YouTube. So exclamation YouTube if you guys want to go and subscribe to the channel. Help your boy get to 100 subscribers. That is the goal right now, you know, and then from there, let's see how far we can go. But thank you, Commander K. Thank you, Faded Hex. Thank you, Gavin, God himself, Joe Nova. I appreciate all the follows. Welcome to Ken's Army, everybody. I hope you guys have a wonderful time with me in the stream today. It's a fun time so far, and it's only getting better. We also have a giveaway today for subs. So exclamation giveaways for any subs that are coming in right now, trickling in. You guys will be entered into the giveaway very shortly. We're actually going to do this in about 30 minutes. We'll be doing a giveaway. So, but thank you guys all so much for the support. I appreciate you again, Sage. I hope you had a great stream. Welcome, everybody. And as I said, we're actually doing the community ISO discussion we just finished for X-Force. And we're going to see them in action. Definitely not gonna be the same turn order like it is for War, but we want to see what they do. I actually don't like any of these matchups. We're gonna try them against this team just for the turn order and see what they do, but they might end up not winning this one. Judas, thank you so much for the follow. Mr. Cool, thank you so much for the follow once again. Thank you guys so much for the love. Also, exclamation SR if you guys want to join Stream Raiders. We are killing it in Stream Raiders. Your boy got his first skin as well in the game. I don't think Hasper can put it again because he just put it last time. But as you guys can tell, your boy Ken got the Super Ken logo chest in his flag bearer. Such a fun time. Another way that you guys can support the channel by rocking that super cool flag bearer. We love that. And then we have another skin coming up in the next weeks as well in the game. So fun times in the stream. But thank you so much everybody for the follow. Scott23, once again, thank you so much for the love. Welcome guys. We're gonna see them in action real quick as we continue to drop this. But thank you guys so much for the love. Welcome to Ken's Army. I appreciate everybody. Just dropped it again, Hasper? Okay, let's see it real quick. He said he dropped it again. Let's look at it. Oh, there he is. There's little Ken with the flag bearer. We love that. Supporting the troops is already Hasper. Thank you, Hasper. All right, we're gonna see once again. So we talked already about Domino being skirmisher, right? And we're gonna probably put this in Groot so that he doesn't taunt here. And remember, Negasonic did not go first because it's not war. And poor Negasonic bites the dust. She just ate it. But we're going to actually going into the next one. And what do you guys want me to ability block? Ability block Star-Lord or Minerva? Probably Minerva so we don't have bleeds on our end. And it's okay if Deadpool dies because we still have our Domino with us. And we love that. All right, we're gonna try and go for Minerva. All right, one out of all of that, 2 vulnerables landed, one on Groot and one on Minerva. We do have her as a raider. So remember, another thing is he doesn't have his charge outside of war initially, so we're gonna basic here first. But we're gonna be able to do his special now, and then let's see if we get any vulnerables with this special. We did. We got one on Star-Lord and we got another one on Minerva, and then now we're gonna see X23 do X23 things. All right, looks like Deadpool's gonna bite the dust again, but I think that's once again okay. It's kind of what we want. Keep on going for Deadpool. First vulnerable landed on Captain Marvel. So once again, Rocket doesn't die. If he had a striker, he probably would have died there, but I like him as a raider. We're gonna continue to keep him as a raider. I'm gonna do basic here to gain another charge with him. A57er, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Ken's Army. Much love and appreciation, guys. Once again, thank you so much to Sage for dropping the love. We love you, Sage. Sage, every Thursday is my hangout. I still, of course, go and support him on other days, but every Thursday you will find me probably not blitzing, more than anything dancing when it comes to watching Sage stream. It's always a good time with Sage. All right, ult here. And we're gonna do basic. Even with this ISO class outside of war, which they seem to struggle at times, I think we see the potential, like the increased damage. We see all the crit damage being in place. Lots of vulnerables in place. Once again, I do have T4 on Domino, which is why we're getting also that increased crit damage. But they wrecked that team, huh? He's gone with his big... Oh, okay. Thank you, Judas. Late night blitz with tomorrow at 9 or 10 p.m. Perfect, guys. We'll be there. Late stream with Sage tomorrow. How you doing, BMAC? But yeah, thank you for that too as well, BMAC. Go and hit that link if you guys want to join in. Anybody that's coming in from the raid, I appreciate you once again. I appreciate all the love, all the follows. We're gonna have fun today, and for all the subs, like I said, if you guys are sub to the channel, you will be entered into a giveaway. I'll showcase the giveaway. You get to select from all of these things at the bottom, the 3 keychains or the pop. But if you guys don't want any of those, then you can definitely get a Stream Raider skin. One of the Ken Stream Raider skin giveaway, especially if you're not in the US, because unfortunately I can't ship it outside of the US. But yeah. Alrighty, guys. Did you guys want to see X-Force also with Domino as a raider instead of a skirmisher?
Yeah, I mean, whatever you want, Kench.
Alright, we said raider for where was the other option. But let's try here and see if we see any difference. Like I said, I think for the added focus at level 5, skirmisher makes sense. But we're going to do just raider on her too. There's no point in doing fortifier because I don't have high levels on this. But even at level 3 fortifier, it might be a good idea if we want to keep her alive. As Mendox mentioned. So let's try them all as raiders. Then we're going to do this last fight. And we're going to take them against Wave 1. Wave 1 with Phoenix? No, that's not a good one. That's not a good matchup either. They're going to get wrecked against all these other teams, but we're going to see the vulnerables. It's okay. We'll do it just for the signs of it. Pops invited you to Thanksgiving. Thank you, Ty. Hey, Nerdy. How are we doing today? 11 minutes left on Stream Raiders if you guys want to join that too. Fun time for sure. All right. Let's see what happens here. So we're going to actually try to land this disrupt on... Where do you guys want me to land it? She already has all those... Probably on Hela. Well, let's put it on Thor so we can continue to attack. Even though they're going to die. And then a bleedy block on Hela. She doesn't spread. Alright. Heal blocks here. Once again, this would go first in war. So we got two vulnerables in place from that. Then we're gonna do a chain attack here. Of course, counter attack does not stop that. No vulnerables actually landed on that one. It looks like we're doing away with Loki. Loki survives. And I think Domino is done. Oh wow, what a coincidence. We knew that happens quite often. All right, we got that charge on him. Let's see what happens here with the special. All right, and like I said, we kind of knew this was gonna be a loss, but we just want to see how many vulnerables land in place. I kind of like the skirmisher still on Domino the most. You guys agree? Even if she doesn't necessarily gain the extra crit damage from Raider, with that added focus just to land that, because right there I was even hesitant to put the disrupt on Sif because I know I don't have it.
Yeah, I agree.
Pigeon Wing, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. Welcome to Ken's Army once again. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving, KB. All right. Fun team, guys. Unfortunately, we don't get to see all the magic unless we're doing a war attack with this team. That's where they truly shine. But as you guys know, we said it earlier in the stream, Raider is definitely pretty easy decision when it comes to this team. You could pretty much put a Raider on all these characters. But we've been also discussing that Skirmisher on Domino makes a lot of sense for the added focus. Even Fortifier for her to survive. As you guys see, she gets targeted and she's very squishy. She's probably, is she the squishiest character out of the X-Force team? If not, then she's definitely one of them. But she tends to die. Yeah, she tends to die quite a bit. So Fortifier like Mendox, especially at high levels, makes sense to keep her alive. But also Skirmisher for the added focus and being able to land that disrupt, I think makes sense. So amazing. I want to take this time to thank Toxic, Mendox, Tarias, and I know Nate tried to jump in. So thank you again, Nate, for trying to come in and hang out with us in Community ISO today. Fun time. I appreciate you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course. I'll see you guys in the chat in the stream.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Yes. What do you guys want to see next week? What's the next team? Let me see it in the chat. What do you guys want to see? What's the next team you guys want to see? We could definitely do Sinister 6. We have not done Sinister 6. We haven't done Pimtech. But I don't have... we might have to hold out on Pimtech until I get Yellow Jacket. We haven't done Supernatural.
What about Asgardians to celebrate Black Bolt coming back?
We did Asgardians already.
We did Asgardian.
Yeah, Asgardian was one of the first ones. Unfortunately, we could do a rewrite. But we did Asgardians. We haven't done Symbiotes too. And we haven't done Mercs. So let me see. What do I see? Mercs.
Symbiotes would be fun.
Symbiotes. You guys want to see symbiotes? Yeah, symbiotes. Alright.
Oh my boy Venom. Yeah.
All right, so we could definitely do symbiotes. I also haven't done Young Avengers, which I'm actually looking for talking about Young Avengers. So, all right, but symbiotes it is. Once again, thank you again, everybody that got in the voice chat, and I hope you guys enjoyed this segment. We'll do it again next Wednesday. Thank you for joining, Toxic. I appreciate you, my man.
No problem, Ken.
Take it easy, brother.
All right, man, dogs.